Hey guys, my name is Dran, and we hit 1,000 subscribers! Let the yapping continue. I couldn't be more grateful for the channel growth, so thanks for subbing, and if you're new, then I highly encourage you to subscribe. I couldn't think of anything to celebrate, so I'm just gonna tell you guys a story. It's a story from my life and a big part of my artistic journey that shifted my timeline. It's about how I didn't go to art school. I'm gonna be talking about how things went, why they went the way they did, and go over why I believe not going was a smart choice in the end. Choice in quotations, anyway. I felt inspired initially to share my point of view approaching all of this because there was some hubbub about art schools shutting down, like the University of the Arts in Philadelphia, for example. Tuition is going up and less people are enrolling is basically what's happening. How surprising. It sucks that they're shutting down because I do believe having a school for these things is extremely valuable. Simply having a place where you and other like-minded people can come together and improve and eventually start careers is amazing. That's initially why I wanted to go as well. But at the same time, are they so amazing that it's definitely worth an arm and a leg for? I don't know about that. So let's start from the beginning.
This kid from the market something.
It was my senior year of high school and it was time to apply to colleges. I already knew that I wanted to go to an art college. I was literally not interested in anything else. I want to say I'm not really the type of person that likes school, but I also believe that it was just the typical American education experience that made me not like school. Which, if you are not from America and you don't know, we've got poor curriculum. Most of the teachers ranging from okay to very bad. And the overwhelming sentiment throughout everybody there knowing, yeah, school could be better in a lot of ways, but it's not. So the point is, I wasn't interested in anything else. I hardcore focused on art all the time over all my classes, and my art was still ass. And low-key, I thought art school would fix that. But anyway, when it came time to apply, I went for Ringling School of Arts and Design. It was nearby, and I'd heard many good things about it, as well as it being a personal recommendation from my art teacher. It seemed like the most promising one, especially because their majors were much more in-depth than a regular college. I mean, we got illustration, animation, motion design, and holy shit, is that the game art major? Dude, they got everything here! And so, I cautiously got my forms all written up, portfolio drawn, and my essay on why I definitely should be accepted. And then I sent that shit in. I waited, and honestly, I was a bit nervous. I thought, man, my art is good, but it's not that good. I passed all my AP art exams, I did everything well enough, but there was still that thought of, maybe my art isn't good enough for this prestigious private art school. And then I got in. I got accepted! Oh boy, what happens next? So once I was accepted, the school would send me a bunch of neat little stuff, packets of art, stickers, little magazines, all these cool artsy stuff, and I was getting really excited. My excitement was sky high when I got a tour of the campus though. It was a really cool campus. It literally felt like a resort, but for an artist. The city was also just as nice as the campus. I remember seeing old people actually smiling, which is definitely rare from how they usually look like in Florida. I got stars in my eyes from that tour, and I still remember it today. Even the beach there was better than any other beach I've been to in Florida. The sand was literally fairy dust. I don't even know what else to say. It was such a nice experience, so after that, I was pretty dead set on going there. My art teacher supported the idea, my family and friends also supported the idea, saying, "You're a great artist, you deserve to go to a great school," which I totally agreed with. So you're probably thinking by now, what about the dang tuition, huh? What's the price, big boy? How much is this fancy dandy college? Well, it's, gulp.
Huh? Sorry, it was just a gulp. Oh, okay.
Just a small loan of, around $50,000 per year. Oh, wow, that's a lot, but surely you can make it work, right? I mean, it's such a fancy college that it must be worth it, and at least it's not more, right? At least you know it's not higher than $50,000 USD, right? Wait, hold on, what do you mean that's not the full price? What? So for the first year, where you have to get a dorm, add on some more fees, and the total is 76,000 USD. So this fucking sucks. As I was going crazy in my room, I kept saying, why is this so expensive? Does it have to be this expensive? Even with scholarships and student aid, it's still expensive. I went crazy, bro. I couldn't believe that something like an art school could be this expensive, but here we are. Back then, I was pretty stubborn about wanting to go. I felt like that was the place for me, and it had the majors that other colleges didn't offer, so it made the most sense. I took another big gulp, and a deep sigh with the intention of going no matter what. I remember saying to myself, like, I'm going to this college. Like, I don't care what happens. I'm gonna get there one way or another. I trucked along the year, and as the year went by, things were getting set up before I'd even find a way to pay this tuition. I found a roommate, I had a student account, I was in the system. All that was left was to pay this stupid ass tuition. So I had two options. One, be born rich, or get a loan. I'd convinced myself that yes, it was worth it to get into so much debt because this school was worth it. There was a lot of testimonials I also saw around the time that said, oh, you know, I'm in like crippling debt, but it was definitely worth it. I would never trade anything for the things that I've gained from this college, even if it means getting rid of my debt, which more power to you. That is completely okay. But that doesn't change the fact that college is still a gamble. It could be well worth it for someone, but it could also be not worth it for someone else, and I kept that in mind. And so I was about to get the loan, and they told me, okay, so who's gonna co-sign for you? Huh? Co-sign? The hell is that? This was the first time I learned that you needed a co-signer for a loan. But I said, oh, a co-signer, let me go get them. Just you wait, suspicious loan company that's been stalking me since I have been looking at colleges. I'll get you a co-signer. Long story short, I could not find a co-signer. It was either the case that they couldn't do it or didn't want to do it, which I understood perfectly because I was aware of how stupid this price was. I wasn't a stinker about it, but I was also pretty annoyed at the situation. I felt pretty sad because there was just nothing I could do. As much as I was willing to take on the loan myself, I just couldn't. I didn't know where to go from there, and I knew none of the other regular colleges had anything of value to me, so I wasn't going to go for like 1 or 2 years just to drop out. I only wanted to go if I knew exactly what I wanted to do. After some time thinking about it, I came to terms with it and accepted that it just wouldn't happen. Like, I wish it was as free as it is clicking that subscribe button. So by this point, I was out of high school and I was just chilling, focusing on what I wanted to do with my art career or possible other careers. During this, I saw the rest of my friends huddle off to college. If you also decided not to jump to college right away, then I'm sure you know the feeling of all your friends going to college but you. It's a uniquely shit feeling, I gotta say. It's akin to everybody getting on a cruise ship and you're still trying to buy your ticket. And I wasn't just gonna go to like any college just for the sake of going to college and feeling like I'm doing the right thing, cause that would be bad. There really wasn't anything other than art that I wanted to do at that time, so I was just blanking on what to do. It was usually even worse in social settings though, like anytime I was at a party or gathering, and even to this day I still get asked, oh, where do you go to school? What college is it? Ooh, what's your major? And I gotta muster up my best Patrick Bateman face and say, actually, I didn't go to college, but I did get accepted. Why yes, it was private. To which the response is usually, oh, that's nice. The year I was supposed to go to college was around 2020, and if that year makes you grimace a bit, then you understand what comes next. This year, for obvious reasons, had made the college experience total shit for everybody. That includes the one I was supposed to go to. And in the back of my mind, I couldn't help but think, damn, I'm so glad I didn't go to that shit. Mind you, I wasn't exactly in paradise either. In fact, that was one of the shittiest times of my life, but at least I wasn't in a pool of debt. So all in all, that was my experience regarding art school. Though we aren't done just yet. About 3 years later, I reconnected with a friend from high school that actually went to attend that same art school for 2 years, and I learned more about what that art school entailed, like majors, environment, professors, classes, and I realized none of it was what I thought it was like at all except for the debt. That was exactly what I thought it'd be like. And from how different it sounded, I believe that if I went, I wouldn't have had as good of a time as I thought I would. But I also think if I had went with that debt following me, it would constantly nag at me like, was this really worth it? It's hard to justify that price for many things, honestly. The jobs that you get for having certain majors like illustration, also I found did not interest me at all, which is the major I originally wanted to do. I probably would have realized that if I had went there and did the courses, but that also means I would have been 70,000 down just for realizing that. On top of that, the jobs that you would get from attending the school were good, but some didn't look like they paid a lot, or more importantly, weren't what I wanted to do. It took a long time for me to realize what I actually wanted to do, and it was totally free. So after the years went by and I found what I actually wanted to do, it showed me that art school was definitely not going to help me with that. I also was not able to go to any college after 2020 due to my situation, so I guess you could say it worked out anyway.
The fuck?
In the end, yeah, it wasn't for me, I guess. I think art school is ridiculously expensive and does not need to be that expensive. The cost of the tuition for this art school is comparable to med school. That's fucking crazy. I don't even know how long you'd be paying that off for after going through the full 4 years. Yeah, I'm good. I know I'm mentioning the cost a lot, but I do value experiences, memories, and all that good stuff over money. Like, you can always make more money, but in my opinion, having debt as bad as that can make sure your future experiences and memories suck ass. And to ultimately gamble whether or not you'll be getting the job you want that can also pay you well as taking a chance on the experience being good for you specifically, just doesn't sit right with me. Even if you had only gone for 2 years, you'd still be in an overwhelming amount of debt for basically nothing. It's already a meme about getting a degree and still working a regular job because there's no jobs with the degree you got. Art school is like that meme, but amplified for no reason. Now, I don't mean to make this video to dissuade anybody from going to art school. I just wanted to share my experience with it. I've always been a believer that college is not the only one way up the mountain, especially with art. Around that time, I remember going through it and there was a lot of people that hyped me up, especially the college, to get you really excited without ever taking into account how much it's going to cost you and what that can do to you if you mess up. Of course, if I had a gazillion dollars lying around, then I would go. Why not? Unfortunately, my bank account is still pretty far from a gazillion, so we'll see. Art school has value, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily 100% worth it for everybody. It's great to be in an environment where you're surrounded by like-minded people that want to get better at art and get into the industry, but to me personally, you shouldn't have to risk the chance of lifelong debt for opportunities that may or may not happen for you, especially when you can learn art and break into the industry without busting your kneecaps. There's many examples of people doing this that have never gone to art school that made it big anyway. Art is much more fluid than other things like becoming a doctor or lawyer where you need to go to college for that. Art is much more freeform. That being said, everything I say is my opinion. If you agree or disagree, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, like and subscribe! That's my art school story, so thanks for watching, and thanks again for 1K subs. You guys are epic. Yes.